Joining us once again to talk about the latest in the livestock markets is Derrell Peel. Derrell, here we are, we're well into the holiday season now, so let's take a look back at the fall, kind of help us see what's happened.
Well, I think this fall, in terms of the timing of our sort of normal fall runs, has been pretty typical. We did see kind of the relative seasonal increase in calf marketings in late October and November, and the same thing with the cow side as well. It's different this year. We don't have the numbers that we normally would have. And so on the calf side, we have seen these calf prices weaken a little bit this fall because we don't have any wheat pasture. And all things considered, you'd have to think the market has held up pretty well, because for the lack of wheat pasture that's out there, a normal fall run would have caused even more pressure on these prices. And so it's indicative of the tighter supplies. On the cull cow side, again, we're not running anywhere near the numbers we had last year. And even though we had a seasonal increase, we didn't see the price drop, and prices have held up very well on these cull cows because there's a strong meat market behind those cull cows at this point.
All right, so then as we head into winter, what are you keeping an eye on?
Well, I think our challenge, again, going forward, and will be for the foreseeable future, is on the demand side. Because of the tighter supplies, we've actually seen wholesale middle meats come up a little bit. The end meats are holding at least at last year's levels, and the chucks are higher than last year. So, there's the box beef price, again, is pushing up against that sort of demand ceiling that we've seen all this year. And that'll be the challenge going forward. Even though it's not a strong beef demand time of year, because of the seasonal tightness in supplies, we actually might expect to see these box beef prices move up a little bit, but because of the demand ceiling, that's a real challenge. If it doesn't happen before Christmas, then we'll be looking for it, in the first quarter of next year to sort of break through that and move demand up to a level that more accommodates the level of cattle prices that we're seeing and will see in that time period. All
right, so then advice for producers as we head forward, what should they do?
Well, I think most cow-calf producers, obviously we don't have a lot of stockers out there this fall, but I think on the cow-calf side, we're still very much on the defensive mode. It's all about production challenges. Do we have enough forage? More importantly, do we have enough water to get through the winter? And if you look at the forecast and the conditions right now, we're still in a very severe drought. There looks to be no real relief in sight. So I think producers have to be thinking ahead to, what do I have to do to continue in this? What adjustments am I going to need to make? Am I looking at some additional liquidation of animals, particularly if we go into next spring dry? It's just a continuing battle on the production side. Prices won't be a problem. If you have something to sell, I think they're going to sell well. And so it's not about marketing this year, it's about production.
All right, good advice as always. Derrell Peel, Livestock Marketing Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.